welcome. I am Bethan and today I'm going to be sowing some more seeds because I can't go outside at the moment as I've hurt my back doing the pathway, which isn't very great. But these are the bunch of seeds that I'm going to sow throughout March. Now it does look like a lot, and it is a lot, but some of them will only be sort of 2 seeds, you know, out of the packet. For example, I'm sowing a variety of squashes, so I'll only be sowing 2 of a certain kind, like 2 crown prince, 2 hundredweight, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot here to get through, but I won't be sowing all of it today. But I thought I'd show you what I was sowing, and then I'll give you a look around how things are looking at the moment in the grow unit, and where all the seedlings will end up. This is the grow unit at the moment. Everything in here is coming along well. These are some tomatoes, which are actually looking a bit leggy at the moment, but they do look like that. They are the Rosilla ones, and they do look like that for quite some time, and then all of a sudden they start to bush out a bit. Got some chili and peppers at the back, some more chilies over here which are doing well, and then my cucumber plant, I've potted that on, that's doing well, and then my melons actually got flowers on them, and they might need potting on again soon. I've only potted them on last week, but they do grow quite quick. So that's what's in here at the moment, but it might all be quite squashed soon with these new seedlings I'm just about to sow. So I'm going to get on with my seed sowing now, and then I'll show you all the trays and everything after I've sown all the seeds. And I can show you where I've put them, like on the windowsills or into the mini greenhouse or into the propagator or wherever they're going to end up. So I'll get on with doing the seed sowing now, and then I'll bring you back in the end. After 2 days of seed sowing off and on, I can now show you what I've sown. So let's have a look. If we start in this corner here, I've got some chervil, some chives, some plain leaf French parsley, some fennel. I got various flowers in here. Some are nasturtiums, marigolds, there's zinnia and cosmos and a couple of others. I'll just show you. There's some cut and come again lettuce, which you've probably seen a few times, and the cut and come again, sort of that kind of lettuce, which was Marvel of 4 Seasons. And there's some microgreens growing there. And then in my propagator, which I've taken the lid off at the moment just so I can show you, I've sown quite a lot of cucumber as it happens, but they are only 2 seeds per variety. So there's Socrates, the market more, which grows outside, gherkins, which can also be grown outside. This is a new one I've not tried before, Space Master 80. The Burplus Tasty Green F1, which I've already grown 1 of those, and Cucumber Emily. So that's quite a bit of cucumber, but some of it will be grown outside and some of it inside. Then down here I've got courgette, which is the grey one, the like long, thin, stripy grey one. 2 Turk's turban squash, 2 crown prince squash. I got 3 butter bush plants, well, seeds, hopefully turn into plants, and 3 butternut squash hornet F1. And then I've got a 100-weight pumpkin there, and you will also have seen there's the second one there, and then the Uchiki Curie there. And if I just come across to here, here's more cut and come again lettuce that I'm just coming and getting whenever I want to. And this is the lemongrass, which is grown really well. I think I planted it in January, maybe February, and I shall soon put 3 of these into a big pot, and then when they've established a bit more, I'll put them into their final pot and they can go into the greenhouse. And if I come down to the grow unit, I've put all my tomato varieties in here. So I think I planted, or rather I sowed 4 or 5 seeds per station, and there's also some spinach and perpetual spinach in there. And in these pots here are some Black Mountain watermelons that I received through taking part in the Shed Wars last year. And I got lovage in this pot, dill in that pot, and coriander in that pot. And here's all the sort of varieties of them. So there's the lovage, Gardener's Delight, Furline F1, red cherry, red pear, spinach is varieties Matador, then perpetual spinach, amateur, marmande, yellow delight, San Manzano, and then there's the dill and the coriander I sowed. So hopefully they will grow well in here. That was the cucumber plant I was talking about when I said I'd sown a variety of that Burglars Tasty already. So it's doing okay. And so to the windowsill, which was inevitable that I was going to use the windowsills, wasn't it? So I got my celeriac growing there. I've got 5 goodish plants growing there. And then these are tumbling toms, which are probably ready for potting on a bit further now. The roots are not quite coming out the bottom, but that's probably ready for potting on. Here's some sown lettuce, 3 varieties, Little Gem, salad bowl, red and green mixed, and lettuce of Marvel of 4 Seasons. And then here's the other celeriac, which I sowed the same time as the first lot, but they just seem to be taking longer to get going. But they are growing slowly but surely. So I think maybe the compost I originally sowed them in wasn't very good, and it's just held them back a bit. This is the basil that I sowed back in January, February time, where I had it in the grow unit. Now I've potted it on into a bigger size container, and here I've sown some sunflowers. The variety, I've got 3 varieties, and I threw the packet away, I'm afraid, so I can't show you what they look like. But this variety is Mesala, which is a dwarf variety. This one is chocolate cherry, which is a red, tall red one. And these 5 here are teddy bear, which is sort of like the puffy ones. And then I've got some Romanesco cauliflower. Oh, and this is a present that my son made me in school for Mother's Day, but it doesn't actually seem to be growing. Whatever is in there is not quite there yet. And finally, I've got some things in my mini greenhouse as well. So I've got a pot of oregano, a pot of basil. Back there I've got some rainbow beetroot on this side, and then radish, 2 varieties, French breakfast and sparkler. Then back there I've got 4 stations of broccoli and some kohlrabi. And then here are my sprouts. I've got 2 varieties, Darkmoor 21 and Green Marble. And then I got a normal cauliflower, which is Amsterdam F1, and 3 types of kale. So I've got Borcole Siberian, the Nero de Toscano, and the curly kale. And then if you have been following me yeah, you'll have known that I planted some asparagus pea, and there's the 5 stations of asparagus pea which I've potted on, and I've got 6 spring onion pots there, multi-sown, and the cabbage greyhound, which I actually didn't mean to plant the cabbage. I meant to plant sow cauliflower, so that was a bit of a boo-boo. And then over here I've got some turnip, which I recently sowed. And there's the leeks and the rocket, apparently, that I showed you last time. I've cleared away the seed packets now, and I've just put these cloches back on top. Where I've got cloches, I just put them over the top to create a sort of little mini greenhouse within a greenhouse, really. It just keeps those seedlings moist so that they can germinate quicker, is my hope. Here's all the seed packets all collected in one pile, and I forgot to show you my sweet potato. I'm hoping to take the slips from there and grow some sweet potatoes. You can see it's rooted quite well now. I did have 2, but the other one didn't really give out any roots. And where this one is growing leaves on the top now, which shows that the roots are working. The other one didn't have any leaves, so I've just thrown that away. And I've also had a bit of a disaster with my potatoes, my seed potatoes, because I just didn't pull them out of their packets in enough time. But now I've got really long, leggy shoots on a few of them. I thought it was worth me showing you because, well, then you'll know what not to do. So some of these, I mean, those are fine. I would say those are quite good chits, actually, considering I didn't put them to chit. I just kept forgetting to do it, and then before I turned around it was April, and when I got some out of the of storage, some of them didn't do very well. So I've got ones that look like that, and I don't know whether these ones are alright. They are not too bad. I think I could probably plant those and get away with it. But I have also confused myself as to what potatoes are what, because I've written on them, but of course now that they've all shrunk, I'm not quite sure. But I've got 6 jazzy, which are in here. These are the 6 jazzy, because I've written on there jazzy. And look at them. I'm going to have to brush those ones off, I think, and put them to chit, and hopefully in 2 weeks' time they'll have some more chits on them. But the actual... Sorry, this isn't very good, is it? So, yeah, look at that. That is humongous. But then, if it will focus in, this camera's more good at far away focusing, but there are 2 shoots coming that side and that side. So if I take off this thin one here and plant those, hopefully there will be enough in the potato to grow them again. That's the hope anyway. And then others, because some of these I kept in my veg basket right at the bottom, but it was obviously not dark enough for them, and they sensed the light and went looking for light. So I've got these ones again, which I think these are pink fir, which I will probably knock off the sprouts of them. But these ones, these Sarfomira, these were in my shed and they haven't started sprouting really. And these ones were also in my shed, and they are fine. But I'm a bit confused because I put Caesar seed potatoes and pink fir seed on there, and they don't look like either. So I have pretty much ballsed up my potatoes for this year, but I'm going to grow them anyway, because it's April now, and I think if I bought them from the shops, they would kind of be in a similar situation to the ones I've already got. They'll just have long sprouts on them from where they've searched for light in the shops. So we'll just, I'll sort through them now, try and figure out what varieties are what, and I'll put them to chit, and then in about 2 weeks' time I'll sow some. I might sow some earlier if they look like, you know, they'd be alright. But that's it from me for today. I hope I haven't bored you too much with my seed sowing. I did try to put the packets there to make it look a bit more interesting than just looking at a load of compost with seeds that haven't germinated yet. Hopefully the next time I show you around, I'll have little shoots appearing that will be at least a little bit more interesting. And 3 days have passed now since I did the intro, so my back is much better now. So hopefully I'll be in the garden doing something a bit more productive next time. Well, not that this wasn't productive, because it was very productive, you know, in the long run scheme of things, but it kind of feels a bit like I've just been around the house a lot and not really progressing the garden much. So hopefully next time I'll be doing something a bit more physical, I suppose. Anyway, that's it. I'm rambling. I shall catch you next time. Thank you for liking, watching, commenting and subscribing if you have done so. It's really much appreciated. And all I can say about my seed sowing today is lovely job. Take care, everybody.